Hello, you. Nice to have you here. Feel free to come closer. Yes, I mean you exactly. So actually, all of you in this room, take a closer look at the room. Don't be shy. You can touch, shake, or pass on everything you see in this room. Make yourself space. Get dressed. Find a seat now, right here at this table. Don't worry, you can see well from everywhere.
I enter a room, I see long tables, benches, colorful, garlands, beer, and lots of people. I look for orientation, for connections with the people and objects present. What kind of relation I can build with them influences whether I feel comfortable or out of place. Am I in good hands among these people, or do they make me feel uncomfortable, uneasy, awkward?
Welcome. Finally, it's time. I'm Simone, your host for tonight. Once more. We extended the table to its full extent. Tabletop, plates, decoration, Luca, Samuel, Bruno. Every one of you is sitting on our table. This amazing object, which you just put down and you create a space where everyone can meet. Just like Carnival or Fastnacht, as you say in my home, creates a constant space in the passing time. This thing creates a connection. At the same time, the table's existence separates everyone who sits on it. Look around. Look at the other people on the table. Who is sitting next to you? Who is sitting opposite of you? Who sits across the other side of the table? Who of the others seems like wanting to meet new people tonight? Who knows Carnival? Who might think tonight, going home, there was no one to talk to? And who is not sitting at the table tonight? Who of you wants to have deviled eggs? I prepared them just for you. Ah, of course. Wait, I have to. It could be easy, but
Making it complicated.
thank you. Don't be shy. They're handmade. Deviled eggs? I know you're all hungry, waiting for the Wednesday dinner. Deviled eggs? I think there are enough, so don't. No? No? Deviled eggs? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. There's still some left, so serve yourself. You can also. Can I ask you to leave the closet? And then when I disappear behind, you open the first. Should I go to this side? Okay. Looks good? Okay. It's like a gift. I don't need to fulfill anything. I don't need to produce. I can just be. It's a gift on identity. The gift is following. I put this on, and then I'm a fool or a closet. For a moment, I slip into another life. And no one asks me anymore who I really am when I get a real job, what I earn, and when I'm finally getting my driving license. For a while, life is easy because the important questions, the difficult questions, don't matter anymore. To know that I can look at the world from another place doesn't pay my rent. But it's anyway very important for the life behind the mask. I prepared something. This dough, according to a recipe of my grandma. We will make kind of Fastnachtsküchle, that's how we say, also called Krapfen or Berliner in other parts of Germany. Hi, take a seat. I think someone left, so you can just take a seat here, next to the leopard. So every Carnival Tuesday, my grandma would prepare this dough. It's a little bit different because I forgot the butter today. But I knew I forgot something. Yeah. I think it will still work. So every Carnival Tuesday, she was preparing this dough and then inviting us grandchildren to fry, actually, the pastries. And I was always thinking, maybe after the frying, I could see my favorite animal, or even the face of my grandma, or into the future. Maybe it tells me something for the future. So I invite you now to make your own masks or the identity you want to become. I will distribute some dough on each plate. You can use your fingers. If you really want, you can also go to the toilet and wash your hands. It looks like it's still sticky enough without butter. You can pinch it, you can roll it. Also, you can You can also share. Yeah. Who of you grew up with Carnival? Carnival? Who grew up with Carnival? Okay. So then I would like to know, what was the prettiest costume you have ever had? No. What? Puno, what? You want to share? A ladder?
Aladdin. The prince. From Disney.
From Disney? Aha. What was the prettiest costume? Or maybe what was the prettiest costume you have ever seen? We all took part in the Maastricht. Do you have seen a very pretty costume you want to share with everyone? Leah, what was the prettiest costume? Either one of yours or...
I've never participated with a costume. I mean, there are so many, so I cannot say that. I don't really remember one.
Okay.
Maastricht is very known for having very beautiful costumes.
Yeah.
In general, they're really beautiful.
Yeah. You more prefer like this sexy, because I saw a lot of like sexy nurses or something?
No,
Or more like...
no, I really like the ones that are more abstract.
Yeah, yeah. I also like
There's
them.
one woman, she's called Tilda. She's very famous for making like the best costumes every year. She's like in her almost 80 years old.
Oh wow,
She's very
okay.
known for like, she kind of stands out even during Carnival.
Wow, and she's over 80.
Yeah, almost.
Ah, wow, that's amazing. You want to have a piece of dough? No? Miriam, you had dough? Aha. Here, if you want more.
No, thank you. I'm finished.
Ah, sorry. I have two more. Who wants to make a mask? Who wants to make a mask?
Okay, you make it. Oh, really?
Ah, wow. Very pretty.
It's the symbol of God.
No, you leave it out. Of course. So what was the most prettiest costume you have ever seen?
The most what?
The most prettiest costume you have ever seen?
Papà del gnocco, the king of carnival in Verona.
Pinocchio.
Papà del gnocco, father of the gnocco.
Okay.
Can I show you?
Yeah.
For those who don't believe.
Ah, looks like Santa Claus. It's very impressive, yeah. It's very impressive. Of course. A heart. Yeah. What is this?
It's a three-eye person.
Does it fit on your face? Super. And what do you think is a costume that is a no-go? What makes a costume a no-go?
I mean, you just said it. Like it's not the beat, for example.
Ah, yeah, this black facing, huh? Yeah. Wow. What is a no-go costume? Elephant? No. A bee. A peak. Ah, a peak. Nice. You make yourself glasses?
Glasses, yes.
Ah, that's
Fried chicken.
cute.
It's gonna be fried chicken.
We can fry them afterwards and eat. Yeah, in the kitchen. Have you ever been a sun? Would you like to become a sun next carnival?
It's nice to see.
We need more sun in life. That's very amazing.
It's a goat.
It's a goat, yeah.
It's a chicken.
A shark,
A swordfish.
a swordfish. Oh, you are so creative. Collaboration is going on.
Yes. Thank you. You have made a sculpture. This will be shown at
Looks amazing. And a cat, a cat. And this is a little dog? Yeah. Cute. We can, yeah. Downstairs, not here. Now I would like to invite you to take your small paper I gave you in the beginning. Huh? You want to say something?
I don't have paper.
You don't have a paper?
I was late.
Oh my God. But then you can share.
I can share.
Yeah. On the paper, I have written some prompts. They are underlined. And according to the prompt, you speak this sentence. And we do it all together, each, like, I do my sentence, and the other, like, do their sentence they picked. So, for example, the prompt is speak this sentence word by word, as happy as possible, repeatedly. So that's like the prompt of the two of you. And we just start together, each your paper. And you just repeat and repeat. You can just, yeah, you can just read this.
Absolutely.
don't have
A fool's fool. Fool's fools who foolishly accept the foolishness of a fool's fool.
Can you read that out loud? Please, scream it.
A fool's fool. Fool's fools who foolishly accept the foolishness of a fool's fool.
Let's become all louder, as loud as you can. Thank you, that's it for today. So what I shared with you today in a very different setting is based on a duet that had premiere last week. And I also would like to thank you, Julia, for the costumes. And Julie Frodermann, who's not here, who is my performing partner, and Sophia, who did the dramaturgy. And so it's a mix-up of things that happened in the performance, also new things, very unplugged. But it's a work I want to continue working on, so I thought like it's a good possibility to try something out in this setting, also in this time frame. And if you have any questions or comments, I think now is the time, huh? Woo-hoo-hoo!
I should know this. I wanted to understand where these fragments of the performance that you did now, how they sit in relation to the complete piece. Like, what is the narrative or the arc of the complete piece, and like where are these fragments or this chunk within that whole piece?
The fragments I shared now, they are basically all placed in the performance, except the ending. In the performance, we did the voicing together. We had a karaoke moment in the performance where we were singing a traditional carnival song, which worked in this setting, in this context, but here I felt I want to work with voice and like voicing together as like a collective activity that also brings us together, but not necessarily through the mean of karaoke. So it was a try how to build like this chorus of different voices, different sentences, which I tried out here now. And the other things you have seen are really extracted from the performance, like the beginning outside, the horse. It's a smaller horse because it was performed by two bodies. Today I'm alone. But also the entrance, this is all happening in the performance. And it was also, or it is also a participatory performance. So the audience is always like, we are always in between like performing and hosting. Like the audience also did like the masks, entered conversations with each other. So also this this question, how can we gather together in a quite artificial setting, but still evoke like conversations that happen like one-to-one, but also across the table, basically. And yeah, the masks, to make the masks is related to the topic, like Carnival. And I also felt like in the research that giving something to do with the hands, like a stimulation, is also often like helpful to enter a conversation. I mean, now we kind of all know each other, but in the theater, they were like strangers sitting next to each other. So also how like this activity together can create a connectedness for this moment. And by just showing you like what I have done, or in the performance, we also fried them on stage, so they were also then ready to eat. Yeah, so did I answer your question?
Yeah, I wanted to understand more the arc, like from the outside, and to understand if this was a neat chunk of a bigger thing, or if this was like a best of kind of collection of moments. But that's what I understood.
Yeah, so the arc of the performance, it's approximately 2 hours long, the performance. And the arc is really starting from a quite mysterious, artificial setting with appearing with the masks, talking to you, giving you some rules, and then opening up the space of hosting an event, basically. And then it really, dramaturgically, it always went in and out of like hosting a situation and performing quite performative, theatrical elements. Like there was text, there was dance, and live music also, like we had drums. So it's dramaturgically, it was quite complex because also as a performer, we always had to go in and out of like being us as a host, and then also going into this quite artificial, there was a scene where I'm starting ad hoc, like laughing, and then to always switch from this, which created kind of, it was described as a setting which looks like everything is right, but something is twisted. I think that describes the dramaturgy the best. And the scenes I chose now for today was things that I wanted to try out in this setting, and also like to research more on this, like what it means to create conversation, to bring people together. Also not in a dance or theater space. And to make it maybe a little bit more loose, yeah, and happening like, yeah.
This aspect of interaction, is it something that you wanted to do since the start, or is something that unfolded, like the idea of turning the audience into part of the performance? Is it something you wanted to explore specifically with this performance? Is it something you did already, something you want to continue doing? Because I always find it very interesting, very tricky also. But it's nice with the table, obviously it unfolds very naturally.
Mm-hmm. I don't have so much experience in creating participatory performances, but with this topic, it was just kind of evident that it has to create a space where everyone is kind of involved in one way or another. What I tried out the first time, what you are wearing, like the costumes parts, that's like actually costumes we were wearing in a performance. So we were also changing constantly, like so this is also new. Also, I asked some of you to come as your spirit animal. So this is also new to already create like before, like this connectedness and also to give you the possibility to become this community by wearing the bells, or yeah, it's like what you're wearing is like stage costume basically. So by researching this topic of how Carnival can kind of create like new perspectives onto the world, and also on community and being together, it was pretty soon clear it has to be something that we create together. Yeah, and also eating, sitting on a table, for example, is a very important part in the Carnival, I know. So after the parades, you go to the restaurants and you eat together, and you sit with people on a table with which you would not necessarily share a table together. And then, of course, you come into conversation because of your costumes, because of what has happened the day. So it's like really this, community event. So
I have a question about that, because carnivals are also very excluent to people who are not for the locality. How you think that problematic?
Yeah, it's in a performance, it's a topic also in relation to costumes. And I mean, now I asked you this little bit like this question of what is a no-go costume, also to reflect on how to include and exclude, but also like how racist and sexist Carnival can be, and it is still the case. For example, in a performance, I have a text where I'm talking about an experience I had this year where I saw like someone with like a Nazi, basically in Germany. So he was kind of like standing there, surrounded by all like people with costumes, and I was like, what a bad costume. And then I realized it's actually not a costume. He's just like camouflaging but so it's like, and then also this excluding aspect, of course, it's very local knowledge, which I'm trying to indicate with the table situation, so that we sit on a table, but at the same time, I think you missed this. I spoke a text about that a table brings us together, but at the same time separates us. So and Carnival tradition can enrich our daily life, but at the same time is also can be very problematic. And that's like also the friction in this piece. Yeah, how to make it kind of like not too negative and not too like, so also in the dramaturgy, text-wise, we always had to find a balance, how to criticize, but also still have a time together so we can actually be together. But in the table conversations, there was talked a lot about blackfacing during Carnival, like sexist costumes. So it came up, evoked by the activity and by the questions we asked. Yeah.
I was wondering more like also like related to the dramaturgy and also to the fact that I guess like you have your own experience of Carnival from where you come from, let's say, as anyone has in their own way. And I was wondering if in your creation of this piece, for example, the symbols and that are both like the spirit animal or the food or the objects that you put on the table or the horse face, all these things are like symbols, or like in general, like also the rest of the performance we didn't see. If you did like some sort of like research on what are the carnival symbols that you want to use and stuff, and if you follow them, or like if you're also trying to find a more like contemporary version of it. Mm-hmm. I don't know, that is like, and if you do, how do you do that?
Yeah, so yeah, for example, the horse is like, I mean, there are parades and there are real horses. Mm-hmm. So I transformed like the horse into like an artificial horse. So, but it's also the parade in Carnival is led by horses. And for example, like the Eycks, historically the egg is a symbol for the fool. So it's like, and often when in paintings, when you see painted eggs, it is often a reference to carnival time. So there are elements, and I mean, this is a real recipe without butter of traditional carnival pastry. So it's like, but then also the question is, how do you make a piece around carnival without only representing the carnival? So it's like, in where I come from, the masks are made out of wood. That's rule number 1. You can only have a wooden mask, and it has to be handmade. And of course, then I was first thinking like, maybe I should make wooden masks. But then also for me, it was always important, like how to transform also this tradition in the sense of kind of like one question I always had is what can be my or our carnival? So like how can we have a certain like maybe also renewing the ideas of carnival. I was also inspired by post-human ideas. So like because the carnival I grew up is a lot related to nature and animals and the harvest and the seasons of the year. So for me, it was also important how to bring this in. Whereas like the carnival we know here in Maastricht and also in Cologne is much more a critique towards the ruling society, like the king and where I come from, it's more like connected to pagan traditions also. So, and then together with Julia, we were looking not only at carnival costumes, but also as we were looking at European masks traditions, masks that appear in carnival, but also outside of carnival. So it's like also folklore elements. The head, for example, which I'm wearing in the beginning. So the inspiration is like, so there was always this dialogue between like working on traditions and customs, but not wanting to only represent it. Mm-hmm. So there was always this question of how can we make our own version? Yeah.
And how do you ended up working with carnival?
With animals?
With carnival?
Carnival?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it's a good question. So I grew up with it. It's a thing which we did. It's what in my region where I grew up, in a village in southwest Germany. It's just what you do when like you do it. It's part of your. We even have school holiday during this season, which I thought it's normal. In other regions in Germany, they don't have holiday, so it's really a part of the regional identity. But then, of course, I was like, and there are a lot of problematic things in Carnival, like because everyone is kind of concealed by the masks, and a lot of bad things are also happening because it's like. Rule number 1 is hiding your identity. And when you hide your identity, you have also certain freedom. And of course, this gets misused, especially like with consuming a lot of alcohol. So as a teenager, I was like, and then I moved out from home, and then I was like, okay, I don't want to have anything to do with this tradition. But then after a while, ending up working in the arts in the theater, I realized that the carnival was actually my first encounter with theater. Like with role play, with becoming something else, with like putting on costumes, like this very like this moment of like kind of like shifting the world. and my fascination for masks continued throughout my whole also education in the arts. Yeah, and then it was kind of, and then I met up with Sophia, my dramaturg, in a bar, and I was like, yeah, I'm thinking of like working on Carnival, the Fasnacht, like where I'm coming from. And she was like, I know Fasnacht. I go there every year with my parents still. And we were, okay, let's do it. So, yeah, so that's how it started. And then we started the field research. Yeah.
Thank you.
I have one question. I'm curious to more about your research, if you encounter some traditions or some association or some group there have like a more inclusive approach to Carnival, more related to intersectionality, queerness, or yeah.
I do actually in Rottweil, where I also did field research. There is a it is organized like this. When you perform in Carnival with the masks, you belong to certain associations. And those associations are quite exclusive and quite male-dominated. And there is a group in Rottweil, which is a very small town in the Black Forest, who celebrates the most traditional Fasnacht ever. So, and the parents of Sophia, my dramaturg, are from Rottweil. So we went there together, and there is a group that, and the rules are also very strict. When your mask is not to a certain standard, you cannot attend the parade. So there is a group of people who found a way to kind of be still part of the parade, but implementing queer symbols also. And also try to find conversations. They also have a bar where you can go and have a drink and food. And in this place, they try to talk about the issue. So you get a leaflet, and they try to engage in conversation. And it's a small group, but it's a beginning. And then there's also 2 other stories. So in the past, there were people who took part in a parade, not walking forward, but backwards. So that was kind of a way to protest the strictness of the Carnival. And then also the parades, another story, how to kind of undermine the rules. So the parades in Rottweil, the city, they repeat 3 times. Monday morning, Monday afternoon, and Tuesday morning. And of course, you celebrate the whole time. And there are certain masks you are only allowed to perform as a man, still. Only men can perform. But because your identity is completely concealed, women use it as a way to perform under the masks without other people recognizing. So these stories, that there's always like from the inside or from the outside, like these small protests. Yeah, sometimes quieter, sometimes louder. Yeah.
Maybe to conclude, if there aren't any other questions. You want to ask? Okay. So then.
Maybe can you just, I want to learn about.
So then I'll give you the mic. You have the mic.
Yeah, so you had a collaboration with Julia, right? So maybe my question is to Julia. Would you like to explain about your approach?
So it was a very fun collaboration, and I'm half Brazilian, so I just came from Rio de Janeiro's Carnival in March, and I found it interesting. I didn't know anything about German carnival, but I knew about the masks from European traditions that we talked about before. So I had the imagery in my head already, and then the references to nature and post-human concepts. So for me, it was kind of a mash between that world and Brazilian carnival and the do-it-yourself kind of democratizing the way you look on the street and getting together. And these are all elements that I'm really familiar with. And then also like trying to upcycle as much as possible. We used tablecloths from one of the residents' dinners and other remnants, like fabric remnants, of clothes that Simone had gathered. So yeah, we try to work in that direction. Thank you. Do you want to say anything?
No, yeah, it was really like we experimented a lot, and we had very limited means also, so it was really,
it was
trying
really
out.
instinctual, like just trying out things together. But we were really much in the same direction since the beginning, so it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met here, yes.
Yeah.
Very happy. Thank you.
So to wrap it up, your aim is to continue to develop this project. So you presented the first time completely, now fragments of it. And I'm wondering, because of course there's this collective intelligence in-house that you can use in your favor, beyond Julia. And like, what are the things that you feel that you need to develop more, or that you want to do it differently now that you've done it before? We've also been getting snippets of these masks with food, and this didn't come out in this. So I'm wondering, like, give us some hints of things that you already are, there's a hunch that you are going to go in these directions, and potentially how, if you would need any critical feedback on specific things that can be generated throughout this process in conversation with the others.
Yeah, I mean, now it's, I think this was the first step to taking it apart again, because the performance, I mean, in the end, you have material and then you try to kind of like just like making it work. And so now it's the first part to rip it off. But I mean, the metal work, for example, so for me it's also it's also a project where I want to explore more the materiality of metal. So also the masks and the belts I made myself. So I want to continue with that, also to explore other shapes of masks, and also work on the belts are actually also a very important element in Carnival. So I would also like to expand on this idea of sound, and what is still also this, what Marie-Isabelle said, this excluding element of Carnival, and also the critical aspect of Carnival, content-wise, and I want to continue working on that. Yeah, and also the participatory part, like refine it more, like, it's very early to answer this question because I'm coming from Saturday, I came back here, so it's a little bit like also digestion. But I'm very happy also to get like critical feedback and also have critical conversations. I mean, it's also how to bring this work also to an audience who is not familiar with Carnival. So that's also the thing of like, but I like this like dressing up, that the audience has kind of the possibility to dress up and to use like, But I don't know, yeah. So, thank you for coming.